What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle and welcome back. Today, we're gonna do something that I have been putting off forever. I don't know why I've always put this in the category of too difficult, but today, we're gonna see how difficult it is. I'm sure you can probably tell from the title, we're talking about welding. There has been so many times in my car learning journey where having access to a welder or just knowing how to weld would make such a difference. And now, we have one. It's probably not a smart move for me to have access to a welder at home, but what are you gonna do? So I've been doing a bunch of research in what I need to get to start welding, and it was definitely a learning curve. As a newbie, there are so many things to learn to get into this sort of stuff, so I hope I've made the right decision with the things that I bought. So yesterday we went out, we got a bunch of different things. I bought a vise because I've needed one at home for quite a long time, so I finally got a vise, but we did get a welding pack that came with a welder, helmet, gloves, the torch, everything that you need to get started in the welding process. And it also came with all the welding wire that you need for a gasless setup. I went with something that you can plug into the wall and away you go. There's different versions between gasless and gas-powered welders. You have MIG, TIG, stick, heaps of different kinds of weld. I went with a basic MIG welder, and we're gonna go through it today and work out how to use it. I'm genuinely terrified. So let me show you the welder I bought. We'll have a look at how to fill the bloody thing, and then I guess I'll show you what the plan is today, because I've never done this and we're just gonna go in blind and wing it, I guess, really. It's the best thing you can do. So first up, let's have a look at the welder I bought. So this is what I went for. This is a UNIMIG Viper 120. It's just a small little MIG welder. It can do gasless or gas-powered welding, and I think it'll be perfectly fine just to get started, because again, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I've read the instructions to work out how to fill this bloody thing and how to basically operate it, but we're just gonna have to dive in and hope that we don't do anything wrong, I guess. So to help us on our learning journey, I bought two different kinds of metal that we're gonna try and do some stuff with today. We bought some flat bar. This is 5mm thick flat bar, which is definitely pretty thick in comparison to what the welder can do. The welder can go between 1 and 6mm steel. So 5mm is probably pushing it, I guess, for a beginner situation, but we're just gonna try a bunch of different things. I also got some square tubing. This is about 2mm thick. It's 45 by 45. And we're just gonna try things, I guess. I mean, the only way that you can learn in these situations is just to do, so let's do that. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to put the wire inside the welder, get it to the tip of the torch, and then I think we're good to go. I don't know. So I'm gonna be referring to the manual to work out exactly what I need to do and make sure I don't make any mistakes, because it's the last thing I want to do is ruin this welder or ruin anything in the house. Okay, it says to do that and then turn it on. I'm terrified. I hope you didn't click on this video to see somebody who knows what they're doing. I hope you came here to watch somebody have a mental breakdown, because chances are that's what we're gonna see. Okay, I've got it sitting in the groove, and now I need to close this off and tighten loosely. So I need to remove the front end consumables of the torch, okay? This tip out also. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves, okay? Because I'm freaking out. So now I have to hold the trigger until the wire comes out the end before replacing the tips, and that's it. So hopefully I did this right. I can feel the handle vibrating. This is the worst thing of anticipation ever. Okay. All right, so once the wire's out, we need to replace the tip and then select the wire speed. Okay, whatever. Let's just put the tip on first. And that should be the torch ready to go. So I'm gonna put the rest of this stuff away before I break something or lose something. So this is my plan today. I'm gonna use this square bar. I'm gonna cut it into 4 equal lengths, and then we're gonna make it a square. We're gonna make a square out of this, and that gives us the opportunity to do some flat welds and some corner welds, and hopefully not burn our house down. Look, this is not gonna be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's one of those things that, like, the more you try it, the better you'll be. And I've been putting this off for a while. We'll finish up this one and we'll get the grinder out and we'll cut some freaking bar, dude. All right, I think that works. Just gonna clamp this down and we'll open the garage door, because it's just probably not a smart idea to cut metal with a closed garage door. So I'm gonna open that up, hopefully get the sparks out of here as best as possible. And I'm genuinely terrified. I don't know how easy it is to tell that I'm not very confident on camera, but yeah, I'm not very confident in my ability to do this. All right, so that's piece one. Let's just do that 3 more times. All right, there we go. We have our 4 cuts of square tubing. Now, because I've cut these with an angle grinder and I'm not very experienced, these are not straight at all. So what I might do, I might just quickly chuck them in the vise and try my best to flatten them up a little bit and tidy them up just slightly with a flappy disc and get ready to start welding. Okay, so I've tidied up all the edges on the 4 pieces. So my plan is to put them all like this, or we could make it like a rectangle maybe, chuck it like this. I mean, that could work too. We might do this one. So I'm gonna tack weld these in position, I think, which is just like a little boop, little spot. I'm just gonna tack these together and then, I don't know, man. I think we'll just hit it with our first kind of weld and see if we can not melt everything. I guess it's time. So what I've done is I've got a little magnet here and that's just holding these 2 pieces together. I've got the torch set up. I'm gonna turn the welder on in a second. I should probably put a jumper on to cover my arms and we'll put the gloves on, get everything ready. And we're gonna just try and, I don't know, tack these 2 pieces together and see if it holds or if I ruin it completely. I have no idea. I really don't know how this is gonna go. So I'm gonna put a hoodie on and then we'll just get started, I guess. To say that I'm nervous is an understatement. Let's, yeah, shit. All right, let's go. All right, so I've done my best to tack it together. So let's take the magnet off. Oh, there we go. I mean, it's held. It's definitely not pretty. It does not look good at all, but I mean, it's held. It's moments like this that I can realize that because it's not straight, there's parts that don't connect, which is very obvious because I'm just blowing it out, which is not ideal. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a tack. I'll show you. This is what it looks like. There's some tacks there. There's some tacks there. It doesn't look great, but it's holding, which I'm surprised by. It is definitely a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I think with some practice, I could get this. I don't know how to avoid all this splatter that happens. I think maybe because I didn't have any tip gel on the gun when I started, or I don't know. But we're just gonna we're gonna tack up the other pieces, see if we can make it, you know, a solid piece, and then we'll weld in some of these corners, I guess. Let's do it. All right, so I've tacked it all in place. It's, I mean, it's a solid construction. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere, but if you can see, these are the worst welds I have ever seen. Let me bring this a little bit closer so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that. Oh my God, that is just sacrilegious. I mean, look, there's a couple like in here, the tacks in here don't feel too bad, as well as this corner. I feel like the corners I definitely didn't struggle with as much, but like the material's not even touching each other. It's like when I cut them, they weren't straight. I mean, this edge is cut it. You can see this edge touches. This one doesn't touch. This side, this one's not so bad, but I mean, the pieces weren't straight. I think if I were to cut these with like a drop saw or, you know, something that would cut a straight line, it might be different. But when I cut them with an angle grinder, I didn't have them anywhere near straight enough, so they don't really weld together that well. And I'm not sure how to bridge that gap. Like I've said a squillion times today, I have no idea how to do this. I genuinely have no clue, which is probably very evident right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through all the parts that I can, I guess, and try and get some solid line beads on them. And I don't know, man, just go from there. I really don't know what I expected. I didn't expect it to be easy, but my God, this is a hell of a lot harder than I thought it would be. All right, let's try and do a solid drag, a solid line, I guess. I don't know what the terminology is, okay? I have no idea. Well, that was a learning experience. So I've welded it all. Welded is probably a very loose term for what I've done to this poor metal, but it's done. So I'm gonna show you what the welds look like. Please don't be too upset. So this is what we're working with, and that is absolutely atrocious. Look at this. Oh my God, this is horrible. Absolutely terrible. Look at this one. Look at this. I blew a bloody hole in it. This is ridiculous, like playing a game of battleships. Absolutely absurd. You can see in here, the metal, I've just burnt so much of it away. I've melted it all. I don't know if I've used the wrong settings on the welder. I have no idea, but all of them look terrible. Oh my God, Kyle, that is atrocious. I went into this really comfortable. I thought I was gonna do okay. If we go through here, you can see, not ideal. I mean, that's actually not the worst. Oh, no, I lied. Looking at it closer, that is disgusting. So, I mean, look, there is a lot of room for improvement. Let's just turn this around so you can see this one a bit better. That one, oh my gosh, terrible. I've got a lot of like splatter around everywhere as well, so I don't know if I have the wrong settings on the welder. But this one, oh, still a bit toasty. This one, it wasn't the worst. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely not the best looking weld in the world, but compared to the rest, that's not that bad. Oh my God, I am so sweaty. That is such a hot thing to do in a garage with lights and jumpers and stuff on. Anyway, I'm gonna hit this with an angle grinder. I'm gonna try with a flappy disc to make the welds level so I can at least see what happened between both pieces of metal connecting, or lack of connection, I guess, when I blew the freaking holes in them. So I'm gonna grind it all back and then we'll just, I don't know, see what it looks like after the grinding's done, I guess. All right, so I've hit all the welds with the grinder, and I have to say, some of them are not as bad as I thought they would be, but some are terrible. They are really not good. Absolutely horrible. But I'll show you some of the good ones, and I'll show you some of the bad ones, and you can be the judge. Also, if you can hear this, I may or may not have got some metal stuck in one of the solid welded pieces. So now we have a portable bell, I guess. It's a lot bigger and uglier than a normal bell, but whatever. Let me show you what the welds look like. So you can see I've ground it all down. Some of them, like this one, is not as bad as it could have been. I mean, in comparison to this, Jesus. I thought it was bad when I welded it, but now that it's all clean, it's even worse. But I mean, you know, something like this one, it's definitely not pretty, but it's better. This one, I've noticed as well in a lot of the welds, there's these little porous holes in them. So I don't know, again, if I'm using the wrong setting on the welder or if I'm just not using a proper technique, but there's a lot of porous welds. So I need to work out why that's doing that and fix it. I'll just show you the other side. These ones blew out a bit of the material, which, I mean, I knew was gonna happen, but I'm gonna show you the best one. This is the best for last. Are you ready? Oh my God. This looks like a bloody cannonball has hit it. You can see, I don't know how easy it is to see on camera, but you see all these little individual dots. I tried my best to like bridge the gap, but I think it was like the more I tried to bridge that gap, the worse it got. Absolutely terrible. God, the light is just reflecting directly off it, isn't it? There we go. Now you can tell exactly how bad it is. Look at that. Oh my God. Looks like a portal to a different dimension. But I mean, at least when Millie gets home, I get to show her the bell that I made today. But yeah, that's not bad. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot better, but it could have been worse. I am so sweaty. Oh my God. If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post new videos every week and you don't want to miss them. If you do want to check out any of the stuff that I used, I'll leave it all below. Massive shout out to people who know how to do this or do this full time. If you can weld really well, I want to hear from you. Please tell me what I'm doing wrong. Help me learn and do this better. Look, I'm impressed that I got something together. I didn't think that I was going to be able to actually put something together, which I know sounds a bit stupid, but I'm pretty impressed. Terrible as it is, I'm pretty impressed. So if you know how to do this, or you have any tips for me, please let me know. Okay then, don't forget to follow us on our social media. All the links are in the description. I'm going to see you guys next week. Bye.